Hey guys, welcome to Trekyards. We're live.
Hello, hello, hello. Yes, it is warm. I was like, I can do this without aircon, and then humid and hot. And oh my God, Stuart! Next to us, there's a lot of people. There's a crowd. Goodness.
Like a debt review.
It's like a class of whatever. Yeah, I try to get all the heroes in frame, but that man Worf's head was a bit too high, so he's just peeking. He's like a daredevil. Yeah.
You could have put him on top of the banner.
Just peeking out slightly. Wolver, hello. He's already on there once. It's fine. He gets 2 different bills, and there's 1 bill of Bill Shatner in there as well. So yes, welcome back everybody. Let me get the sharing.
Go for it.
I thought it was a pretty interesting when I
I rarely get to see my friends these days.
Stop. I never thought this was a topic, but I was like, yeah, actually. When we debated these, we always say, you know, of course, Data and Seven are gonna be the Doms, but you know what? What if you broaden it? See you in a second.
All right. Hey guys, hit that like button if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate that. And yeah, click the join button down below. There is a join button. You can join the channel on YouTube here. Or head on over to Patreon/Trekyards. Join over there. It's another monthly way to support us. If you want to do so, we'd appreciate that. But also just hitting like, sharing it around, doing those things, and engaging in the chat is very helpful. One thing that does help immensely is super chats. If you want to super chat in with your comments or thoughts, we'd appreciate that. Also, we do read all of those, and we want you guys to be part of the conversation. This is a community chat type deal. So yeah, let us know what you're thinking by super chatting in. It supports us, supports the channel, and yeah, hopefully it makes you feel good too. I don't know. We'll see. There are links down below to the Teespring and the TeePublic store. Lots of cool Trekyards merch there. Just go take a look and see what tickles your fancy. Maybe put it in the cart. Wait for a sale. Might be a good idea. So, all the things. Looking forward to interacting with you guys and having a good conversation. So let us know what you're thinking. Anyhow, yes. So. Bridge crews. There's been a few over the years. Which one's the best one? That's a very good question.
Now, do you have any instant gut reaction?
No, you can't really with these crews. So
It's such a diverse list. I also feel like we can't take era into account because, of course, late DS9 bridge crew are going to be more capable than an X bridge crew because they've got 100 years more knowledge and expertise and training. Right? Fine. Relative to them and the people and such, I think it's a fair way of judging it. Because who knows, maybe Hoshi's ability set beats... Well, I mean, if you look at Star Trek 6, Hoshi certainly beats Uhura in languages. Unless she's inventing bloody how to translate things, so...
and yeah, and Raj, we're not setting the best bridge crew. We're just having discussions on how well they work together.
Yeah, this is more of a free-form, free-flow discussion. Let me do a poll as well.
Yeah. So any gut reactions from you guys out in the audience? Throw them in the chat right now. Who do you think, crew-wise, might be one of the best crews? And they're all great crews. That's part of the point. They are hero crews, and most of them are like flagship material. So it's kind of a tough call. I think there's probably a full house as far as poker goes in the Star Trek 6 crew, because you got a lot of captains and commanders on the crew, which in Starfleet battles is just a legendary crew. People that have, even though they're ranked up, they do choose to still work together.
Well, shall we start with TOS first? I'm not saying we have to go in chronological order, but let's go with the OG, because the arrangement is slightly different to 6, of course. I'm not saying this is all the bridge crew. Obviously, this is a press photo I've tried to get for each person. So how do you think the TOS bridge crew stack up? I assume we include Scotty because he is a bridge officer sometimes?
He's third in command, so yes.
Well, so is Geordie, and he's not on the bridge 85% of the time.
Yeah, but Scotty was put in charge many times. He's third in command, so yeah, absolutely. And all senior officers are bridge crew, whether they're on the bridge all the time or not. So
sure.
Yeah.
I guess then Beverly counts.
Yeah.
So obviously Spock and Bones very capable, and Scotty legendary for a reason. Secondaries, some strong, although I felt Sulu. I mean, obviously everyone's undeveloped, but how good is Sulu at his job really in TOS? It's fine. He's good.
Yeah.
Right. So remember him for his captaining, which is not what's reflected. I mean, does he ever captain in TOS? Don't think so.
No, not really. TOS that's just the nature of the beast as far as storytelling goes. Back then, they didn't really focus on those characters. So.
Yeah, indeed. Although certainly for bridge officer in terms of communications, this version of Uhura, I'd associate it with being very able to use her station, very like a wizard on the keyboard, right? Like she can just do her job perfectly. Is how I associate that of this crew.
Well, yeah, there was even an episode where she was working under the thing, repairing something, and Spock came by to check how she was doing, and she's like, "Look, if you want me to do this, you need to leave me alone." And he kind of capitulated to her knowledge in that field. So, I mean, that says something right there, right? So,
yeah. And I like what you said there about having three. So, in fact, you've got Spock, Scotty, and Kirk, who are all command-able officers. I'm sure I have the same conversation with everyone else, but those three have full confidence they can lead the ship, right? All ready for the job. Does every bridge crew have three ready-to-go command officers?
Well, yes. That's part of the command structure. You need to have second, third, fourth in command if anything happens. So, yeah.
I have real faith in them.
ISFJ 1009 throws in $10, so thank you. Three-way tie, TOS, TNG, and Voyager. Yeah. Eric Martin, $10. Hey guys, just showing my support. Many bridge crews were good. Disco bridge crew was very weak and underdeveloped as characters, in my opinion. Well, so is the TOS one, as we were talking about here. Yes, they got more after in the movies and stuff, somewhat-ish. But we feel like we know these characters a lot more just because of all the novels and comics and all the
games,
character. Yeah, all the character filling out that happened in the meantime.
And also the actors, like we feel we know George from all his "oh my" appearances, right? That's part of it, you know.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, we'll talk about Discovery when we get there. I think honestly, if you really look at it, they might have had slightly just as much as the TOS, some of the TOS, because TOS is its own unique thing. But yes, we get the movies and stuff, so it's kind of hard to differentiate.
I feel like in TOS, I mean, it really is the three secondaries of Chekhov, Uhura, and Sulu. For like when they were utilized, they utilized a little bit more than Discovery, but often Uhura only has one line in the entire episode, and the line is "Yes, Captain." Discovery crew, they might have had episodes where they have a few more collective lines as a bridge crew, but how many scenes does Bryce have as a character? Maybe one, maybe two, right? So I'd probably say TOS by a hair, but that's because if there's a few little bits where like Sulu Chekhov's Russian line. Is there a Discovery version of that? You know, that's a character thing. I guess Detmer's PTSD thing. I don't know. I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you were reviewing the Trek back in the '60s, you'd be like, we don't know anything about this bridge crew.
We just like
know about the three main people, but Sulu's kind of an idiot. He gets possessed in Cat's Paw. He freaks out in the Naked Now with the flying through the swords. Pick a hobby. One day it's collecting guns. One day it's sword fighting. One day it's botany. Like, come on. If you were looking at this from a fresh perspective in the '60s, you'd be saying the same shit about the TOS crew as you would about the Discovery crew. So
Got to be fair on this stuff.
Bear that in mind. So I don't know.
But I think I wouldn't give Sulu or Chekhov particularly high marks in being they're exceptional. So I'm going to take them out of the running for being like the thing that the cherry on top of this cake. But we know that Bones is a good doctor. Is he amazing? It's pretty good.
Yeah.
But you got the main three with Scotty being the third that are all very good at their jobs. That is clear. So misbalanced as a British crew potential in terms of skill set, as in like for in this ranking potentially, right? Maybe not the boldest. All right, who do you want to look at next?
I don't know. Just we'll throw in TNG, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know if we want to do this like.
No, whichever order. I kind of like the sporadic nature. Feel free to be a contrast point.
Hold on, I'm having slide issues here.
And there's a poll as well, which is best bridge crew, which went for the full Canon Prime set. Voyager, TOS, TNG, DS9. And we are here to talk to the chat, so do let us know what you're thinking, etc.
Yes, please do. So yeah, I guess we'll just pull in TNG next.
Sure.
I mean, this is when storytelling got super good and detailed. Although, again, first 3 seasons reviewing them, you might not say the same thing as a reviewer back then. But yeah, this is definitely, like you said, a more advanced, more well-trained crew.
Yep.
Again, I can make the same argument I just made about Sulu with Geordi. Like, he's on the bridge, he's at the helm, then all of a sudden, boom, he's a head of engineering. How did that happen? Odd choice, to say the least. I think Geordi's probably the least fleshed out of all these guys.
Troy.
Yeah, she has that history with Riker, and you meet her mother.
But
Geordi just is bad with women, and his friend is Data. Like, you don't really learn a whole lot about him. You meet his mother, kind of.
No, I think you're right. It's two sides of a coin. Geordi's in most episodes doing something, and a lot of times very useful things, showing his ability. Troy is literally not seen in lots of episodes, or has a scene just to get the paycheck, which is focused on. You're right. She's a whole episode. And obviously she has giant backstory things, which is literally forgotten about for swaths of TNG. Geordi isn't ever forgotten about because he's always important. So it depends if you're looking at screen time and dialogue or really distinct characterizations, which, certainly Troy wins that.
And Dan says, Whoopi Goldberg's not bridge crew. No, neither is Guinan. But unfortunately, this is a publicity picture of the crew, and she's there, so...
Pretty obvious, Dan. It's impressive.
Yeah.
The conceptual. I mean, so Wesley's also only a bridge crew some of the time. But in terms of skill sets, I mean, they're really a really talented bunch of people. Is that possibly to the extreme that Gene just wanted all the best people, to everyone the best?
We got to remember at this point too, the Enterprise was the 5th iteration of the ship, and or however many iteration, and this was the flagship. This was the creme de la creme at this point. So yeah, of course the bridge crew is the best of the best, right? So TOS not so much. TOS, despite what everyone thinks, the Enterprise was not the flagship of that fleet. It was one of the original 12 Connies. But yeah, anyway, so that's a different kind of dynamic and a different kind of structure as far as Starfleet would have considered anyway. You got to put your best of the best there. So yeah, they kind of all stand out in their own right instantly.
Hi, John. Well, exactly. I mean, even Riker, he was exceptional to be that higher rank that early on. He meanders on the Enterprise. He's happy to sort of coast, which is fine, but he's a very good people person. He's a good leader. He's a captain in training even from day one, isn't he? Right? I mean, that's kind of his job, is to be the up and come. Obviously, Data's the unfair advantage. She's everything to everybody. Beverly's really creative with the Doctor. She is very, very good at it. I mean, she becomes, head of medicine. If you look at the Nemesis deleted scenes, medical stuff. Got to be a high-ending person to do that. Worf, you think he's amazing, but he gets rejected more times than he gets to fire weapons. So potentially he's not amazing. We're not quite sure. Probably, but he doesn't do that much shooting really. And because the nature of TNG space battles, often it's Mr. Worf, fire phasers, okay, and they just point down, and hit the stationary target. It doesn't take any skill to do that, really, does it? So conceptually, he's amazing.
Well, he replaced Tasha as head of security, so yeah, we would assume so.
That's not a problem, just a note.
Eric Martin, member for 22 months at the rank of captain. TNG almost had too many bridge crew characters at first, but then they sorted that out in later seasons and gave everyone more of their own stories.
I guess
yeah.
if you go season 1 with Tasha and Worf and Wesley, then
well, Worf was supposed to be a secondary character from the beginning. He wasn't supposed to be a primary.
Yeah.
So.
But that is a lot of people going in, and obviously Troy is meant to be there with the captain. If you remove the sort of the dead weight, quote unquote, that leaves the best. But yeah, definitely creme de la creme. Although not really science focused. Because where's the blue science officer, right?
Well, that's the Data. He's the all-in-one. He's the catch-all.
He's the all-in-one, yeah.
Because communications and a lot of those kind of stations all get co-opted into the his comms or his operations station, right? So he's kind of everything. He's a catch-all.
Yes, he really is. I mean,
Science officer and communications officer. So
because both Worf and Data can proclaim things are incoming, modulations are happening. Both act. But it's interesting that Spock was such a standout for science, and on a show of science, isn't a dedicated science officer, which there might or will or could or should be later. Because TNG is known for no blues, right? Even Beverly has the coat, so they're not a blue-focused uniform set. Whereas in DS9, they have two blues. They have Dax and Bashir, so it's a far more. It's interesting the things you notice when you don't have a blue.
Yeah.
Which is sad. I like the blue, clearly.
Yeah, and then you got like the Renaissance man, Jean-Luc Picard as the captain, kind of the stoic diplomat. I wouldn't say explorer, but he's cultured. He's learned. He's
a pilot.
Yeah, well, yeah. He started out as a pilot.
He does get his hands dirty, and he's very good delegating.
And you got your man of action, first officer. I mean, they kind of got all their bases covered. I think TNG did a really good job at that. So,
like I say, I'm missing a science officer. If I was to make a slight note there, but that's I mean, how would you feel if Data was in blue in the instead of gold for this? Okay.
No, I don't need a blue officer on the bridge.
Oh, there is often one next to Data, which is a weird place to put blue.
Yeah. I mean, Deanna's usually wearing some form of blue. So, there you go. There's your blue.
Or purple. So, yeah, pretty well-rounded. Yeah, that's a pretty talented... They might have stacked the deck a little bit on that way. Well, let's... In a good way, though. Well, let's jump to a different extreme. We had the last bring Trek back. Let's look at Stranger Worlds as the contrast. This is the other, fan asked for, needed, whatever show. Bridge crew. Are we missing anybody? La'an. But again, this is the press photo we have. So add La'an. And there's normally...
and now Pelia.
Sure? Yeah. Chief engineer.
And this next season coming up, Scotty as well.
Yeah. Okay, so how does the Stranger World bridge crew stack up in terms of quality?
Well, see, I think I like Pike. He's a good captain, but I think he's a little bit too friendly with his crew. There's no... Again, it's still early Starfleet, so it's kind of... That's one of the issues I've had with Pike kind of going through these seasons of Strange New Worlds. He's a little bit too familiar with his crew to the point where sometimes it's just always seems so casual, and it's not a good command structure dynamic, I don't think.
Yeah, he is their friend.
Yeah.
You know that going in, yeah.
Number one is supposed to be kind of like the stoic figure almost. She's almost more captain-y than Pike. Pike's more of a man of action. He's the friend that she wants because he's always kind of. But he seems so indecisive at times as well. Like this last cliffhanger is another perfect example of that. Yes, I realize your girlfriend's out there with the Gorn and you don't know what's going on, but that was a stupid way to cliffhang that episode, I think. I'm sure he'll be jumping right into action in the first episode.
I like that, to cliffhang the episode.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying it. And I love that you said that. Yeah, I'm looking at number 1 and Pike. And number 1 isn't the science officer. She just kind of is there doing stuff. I guess she's Riker in that regard. She's just doing stuff. But isn't she sort of science? But Spock science, so she isn't.
Yeah, I always got the feeling that she was kind of more like the sciencey type, though, especially in her appearance in season 2 of Discovery.
That's not how they play her, though. Not a problem, of course, just it's not
Yeah.
necessarily how they're presented. Obviously, Ortega's, she is a pilot. We hear it often.
I've heard that she flies the ship or something.
She does. She is overall, but again, we've now had a nice experience with the ladies. I think we're now a bit biased towards she's just a nice, pleasant person to be around, which is true.
And so's La'an, actually.
Yes.
She comes across, her character is very different than the person, I think. The character is very much a hard ass, and yes, good security officer, I feel.
Kind of the Tilk of the current breed. Stoic on screen, can't help but smile and laugh in real life. As in Chris Judge's Tilk.
Yeah.
And Han says, DS9 doesn't get the credit it deserves, it's just how it is. I mean, DS9 gets credit a lot. Many people think it's the best of the Trek shows, so I mean, I think...
Especially over the, intervening years since it aired, it's become... Yeah.
And also, I think, taking into account when Discovery came out, people then going back and saying, well, holy shit. Touted the first serialized storytelling, and it was like, DS9? And they go back and watch, it's like, oh shit, this is better in every single way. So, yep. But Ortega's still a bit flat. But the fact, as I said to her in person, she's kind of like a Sulu in that if Sulu's given a bit more of the peppy lines, with a bit more character, he can make one line kick ass, or she can make one line in episode kick ass. But good at what she does around that.
Yeah, the character's never really been given a chance to grow. She hasn't necessarily had her own episode. I mean, there's the one where I fly the ship, but that was she didn't remember anything. Yeah,
she's the one that's missing.
Hopefully we'll get more from her in season 3, which I'm sure we will.
Yeah, we better.
Spock's supposed to be the Spock we all know and love, and does a fairly good job with it. So still a little bit young and inexperienced a bit, but
yeah, he's definitely. He's definitely a nerfed Spock. He's not as smart, not as grounded, not as logical, both Vulcan-y and normally. I think he's a significantly less capable science officer in this form. Might be more energetic because the actor's younger than Nimoy, but I think Nimoy is just a smarter character than this Spock, which makes sense. Just he's not quite there. How does this Uhura strike as a communications talent wise?
I don't know. I
I'm
really get a sense of her expertise. She has to have the tragic backstory with her parents, of course.
And they're from cadet to ensign, rushed into training, blah blah blah, like on Discovery. The more we're talking, the less capable this bridge crew seems. And Peli, of course, fine, good, decent. She's that's not her. She has many things, so no one is picked as her thing, right? Yeah, this bridge crew is very capable, but not actually especially amazing. Which is might be why they work so well, because they're all kind of pieces of a puzzle versus the different puzzles of each other, maybe.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I thought let's get rid of them for now.
Although La'an is very good.
La'an's great.
She's probably one of those capable, but being very, very, very punching.
So, Enterprise crew. This now, to be fair, and you mentioned this earlier, this is the first crew, Earth crew, going out doing this kind of stuff, and you can see where all the rules get established as the seasons go on. So I love that. And this is the kind of captain you'd want for that as well. He's got an upbeat attitude. He wants to explore. He wants to learn new things, but he's one that'll fight back if need be. And I think the thing with Archer that kind of bothered me during season 3 in particular, he gets kind of whiny, like a high school jock who's just getting picked on, and he's not used to being picked on, and as a result he gets a little moody and kind of. So I had issues with Archer a few times, just his attitude towards things. I think it comes off as kind of childish at times, but I get it. I mean, you're trying to go out and do exploration, you keep getting kicked while you're down and kicked while you're down, and just it feels like you're not going to get anywhere. But anyway, that's I like Archer, don't get me wrong. I think he's a fantastic captain and definitely of the era.
Actually, I absolutely love that as a way you frame that. But if I add another allegory, it's as if he has been building up to be the biggest fish in his local pond, and then suddenly he's thrown in a giant pond and he is the smallest possible fish.
Yes, absolutely.
But he's lived his whole life as the giant fish. Now he's
Sorry, could you say that again?
No.
Yeah, can you say that again?
Which because he's a good guy, but you're right. I mean, he's unequipped to deal with most things. Now they've rise to the challenge, but they're always facing the most ridiculous things. They can't be taught all this cool stuff. Whereas TNG, they're taught all the ridiculous things. Therefore, it doesn't feel quite as out of place. Yeah, that's really interestingly said. That said, this was very much as an Archer, I need to hand pick a crew that will keep us alive. Properly, the planet creme de la creme. Because I don't think Hoshi was even in Starfleet. I think she was just some lass, right?
I think she was in Starfleet and then went away to do teaching.
All that,
so
yeah.
Kind of pulled her back. Yeah.
And obviously, T'Pol certainly isn't, and Phlox certainly isn't. So they're picking who does he really want. And I think Trip's a great engineer. I think he's, for his time. Phlox is fantastic, Doctor. Hoshi is innately amazingly talented with the physical learning. Travis is a pilot.
Yeah, that's as far as that goes.
T'Pol, very capable, just a bit too arrogant and annoying. And Travis, Mayweather, he is talented, but also wanting to push.
I think you mean Reed.
Sorry, yeah, thank you. Yeah, Reed. He's the guy that wants to push tactical further and further. So he's actually literally writing the book on it. I think he's very good at what at the level he can be. You know, everyone else can kind of excel in a way, whereas he's limited to, this is how good my phase pistol is, right? I mean, how can I keep improving a phase pistol? Not that much necessarily. Trip is always see new tech and learn new tech and whatever. I think this crew is actually pretty damn capable as a bridge crew, with a lot of skills around a table. What do you think?
No, I totally agree. And the fact that T'Pol is not part of Starfleet and has all this knowledge of Vulcan exploration, and then you got Phlox, who's an exchange doctor that has all this medical knowledge. It gives the sense of that like TNG Starfleet training, because they got all the collective knowledge.
Yeah.
It's just sparsed out, and
yeah,
it works together in a very good way. The only real disappointment from this crew for me is Mayweather. Yes, we learn about his family and stuff, but it really doesn't help the character. He's very two-dimensional, unfortunately, which is a bit of a shame. Hoshi, talented linguist. Trip is just basically Archer's best friend, but he just happens to be good at engineering, so that's how he got the job. But again, very kind of cocky and arrogant. It kind of matches Archer's vibe a little bit.
Yeah.
But you kind of need that when you're doing that kind of thing. So, and Reed's the same. Reed just comes across, he's trying to prove a point. We find out later it's to his family, because his whole family worked on sailing vessels, and he's the one that decided to go to Starfleet and do something different. And he wanted to kind of prove a point. So they all feel like they're there to.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, you're right there. To make a point of who they are, in a way that, I mean, this is like a Titanic, in that, or more likely, like a Viking sailing ship to the New World or whatever. they all could die. Proper, practical, logical, very likely to happen. TOS, you're probably fine, rely on training. There isn't Stranger Worlds, we just looked at, you know, there isn't that vibe of they're all just part of the academy, they're all just rise up ranks to get there. These are all go-getters, people with personality flaws necessarily, they're too human to try and push forward. Love that. Really interesting point, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Tab Extra, though, puts in 50 Cronus. Thank you. The second best bridge crew. They are new, but everyone at their role is the best at what they do.
Must be fair to
yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate them after the Stranger Worlds comparison. Yeah, and they are very flawed people, right? These are not perfect people. They're not TNG level. Often the imperfections are very vanilla. Stranger Worlds, they're more peppy and zeitgeisty. But yeah, I mean, just Phlox onto Pol alone because these guys are big edge, and Hoshi should not be messed around with because she knows her shit and she will break all the ground. She invented the translator.
The problem with her character is she's afraid of everything. The transporter, leaving the ship, going into an alien. Like there's that character arc we had to go through with her where she's just timid about everything.
Kind of one note thing.
Yeah, and they pushed her to do the things that made her uncomfortable to make her a better officer.
Big thing to go into space. And you also there's like I don't think they ever said it was a 3, 5, 4 year mission. The NX was just a case of go out and see. So she could be like, right, I might be out for 20 years. Unlikely, of course, but it's possible. Yeah, that's really interesting. Okay, can we swap to a different contrasty group then? Because that was a really interesting. Oh, let's go to the other end of the barrel. Let's go to Cerritos Bridge Crew. From the first, the best, the flagship. Well, the only ship of its kind. To D tier. And I am going to say that these two people in front are, I recognise as bridge officers a lot of the time. So these are the bridge officers that I would associate most of these positions. I know Boimler can often be the left-hand one, but I would say these guys are more often than not the people.
Yes. I can't remember the Trill's name,
nope.
But I like her.
She was
Barnes.
Yes, she was episode 2, date 1. Or even no, episode 1, date.
Yeah.
And is the first one named Lawrence or something?
Can't recall.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of these people aren't bridge crew necessarily. You got Captain Freeman, you've got Commander Ransom, and you got Shax.
Although we do know they work on the bridge, all of them, because we see them in several episodes, especially Boimler and Mariner.
Well, a lot of ensigns work on the bridge of the Enterprise D too.
Indeed.
So.
Indeed. Which is interesting then, because if you remove the front two, because they're also ensigns, right? But there is no bridge crew, because it's a low-end ship. There's only the main, like I said, the main three. Maybe Mixamo, because he's there often. I mean, if Troy is, then I guess he would be included. Billups is almost never, but again, same logic. He's also there. And I guess Tiana, I guess the same logic. So it's all the main cast, who aren't the main cast.
Yeah. Classic for real, $2. What if we got a show about Sulu and the Excelsior? That'd be awesome. Yeah, this is a try-hard crew, as well. I like to describe them. Freeman, she's doing her thing. She's doing the best she can. She wants to be better. She wants to have a better ship. You got Ransom, who is definitely like the gung-ho typical jock, focusing on his bodybuilding and being the tough guy. Yet he can also be very caring. There's the episode where he stabs Mariner in the foot so that he can fight the big bad guy, because that's his job as the commander. It wasn't Mariner's job. He was looking out for her, which is great. So he's very much he wants to be like I imagine he wants to be captain of like a more higher end ship, obviously, but he's just he's got character flaws that unfortunately put him here. Shax is just super aggressive, former terrorist, and yeah, he's an interesting character. That one. There's really not much that I can say about these guys that will convince me that they're a fantastic crew. They seem to get lucky.
Well, they're definitionally not, because they're on a California class. That's kind of the point, right? I think.
What about, and there's Kayshawn too.
Yeah, Yeah.
Um,
Hard to understand still.
yeah, but
I mean,
that's okay.
Tiana's a good doctor, but she's also kind of a Jackal Frankenstein monster person. She's like, oh god, don't go to her surgery, she'll cut your leg off just because it's fun. Or be slightly quicker, right? Terrible bedside manner.
And then you got
Mixamo is just chill, weird widow, right?
there's Lieutenant Commander Stevens.
I don't know
Who's the engineer?
No, Billups is the engineer.
Billups. There
I
you
think
go.
Stevens is transporter sometimes. Billups is a good engineer for sure, but that's not necessarily enough to turn the tide. Yeah, not particularly talented. Because yeah, even Freeman's she's a fine captain most of the time.
Yes, when she doesn't let her feelings and grudges get in the way. I think Mike McMahon and his team did a fantastic job of making these guys not the best bridge crew. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean this is a frank honest
Not
conversation.
incompetent, but just
Yeah, well, yeah, they shouldn't be in their roles if they were. Although it's funny, but Shaq's a clearly anger-ridden tactical guy on an engineering California class, a ship that will rarely ever get into combat. Feels that was probably intentional.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, these guys are not in the running. I'm sorry to say it, guys. We love you. I think you aren't in the running for the ranking of ranking, but you know the. Okay.
So get out of here.
Yeah, interesting.
All right, so let's bring in Voyager next.
Yes. Now they of course aren't a flagship, but they are a brand spanking new ship, Intrepid at the time. Top of the line science and exploration, which is a different skew. However, of course, B'Elanna, Tuvok, Chakotay, Seven, and Neelix.
Tuvok's Starfleet.
Hold on. Neelix and the Doctor aren't actually the crew.
Oh, that's true.
The only crew are Kim, Janeway, and Paris. Everyone else is a pickup or a marquee, because Tuvok was not her crew.
Yeah.
He was going to be dropped out when he got home, and EMH is a computer. So we're going to ignore the fact that only 3 of them are actually the crew. Technically speaking, the rest got killed. This is the bridge crew as they come around, so we can't do the same criterion. But talk about family, because they had to grow to be a family, and the fact that you have this real amalgam of people forced together, growing together, literally EMH, literally Seven, literally Neelix. Obviously the bonds will be stronger. Janeway can't afford to be as removed. Obviously there's more chemistry between them a lot of the time. They're all going to hang out in some form, and you can't even say it's a joke, because Tuvok hangs out with and plays Calto with several people who might not like to do other things with, but that counts as hanging out, right? And Nix will convince him to try new food. That is still counted as hanging out, right? As daft as that is. Yeah, thoughts on this bridge crew that was made in fire?
Well, there's a definition of a ragtag crew, and yes, the bonds I think are interesting because you got Janeway, who of course is going to do everything to get her crew home, considering the circumstances. Very much like the mother figure. Chakotay is former Starfleet and does know his stuff, and very quickly falls into line. I think his character was a little underused, but at the same time, not as badly as a lot of people complain about. I don't think anyway. Tuvok is fantastic. One of my favorite, if not my favorite, Vulcan. I think he's just a really great character and good protege for Janeway, good friend, and a good confidant, I guess. Plus, fantastic at his job, which is security and tactical. I think he does an amazing job, logical job with that. Then we got Tom Paris, who's basically Locarno, just the fantastic pilot, cocky, hot-headed, and a little bit in need of some structure, which he definitely has a good arc over the course of the series for sure. B'Elanna, she was former Starfleet as well, I believe. Yeah. definitely knows her stuff, and very kind of pig-headed about things. She definitely wants things done her way, and is a little bit hard at hiding her emotions. But I mean, I think that they actually did a really fantastic job with the character. Let's see. Harry Kim, poor guy, trying to make his mark in Starfleet, prove that he should be there, and definitely does on a weekly basis almost. No promotion for you. The Doctor's a hologram, but I mean, another fantastic character arc throughout the season or the series. Neelix is fine. I don't hate Neelix like everyone else does. He definitely does his job as a morale officer very well. Keeps people together, and I love the kind of the dynamic with him and Tuvok. See, it's very much like a dysfunctional family, the Voyager crew, kind of thrust together, but at the end they're very tempered and strong because of it. So 7 of 9. I mean, she's your data analog, Spock analog, the all knowledgeable character that can kind of solve any problem. So yeah,
you said a lot of positive things there about them to the skill level.
I was trying to. There's not many negatives, really.
No, well, indeed, and interestingly, actually, this bridge crew, if you take this picture, I talked about in TNG, who would be a command officer. Janeway you could trust to be in command, obviously. Chakotay, obviously. Tuvok, you could, because he ran a academy training thing. Kim, because he was many a time, and EMH as ECH, and also Neelix, he was also a captain. That's almost everybody you could trust and send to sea and not blink.
And 7 of 9, I trust her as well to be in command.
I just mean as they haven't shown that in the logistics of the. I would trust them, but a direct path to captaincy, Chekhov never did, Uhura never did. There's more people who aren't. This is a remarkably cognizant crew of we can take over if need be. But yeah, these guys are really epitomizing, and also the fact that so many of them, like you alluded to, brought these unusual skills of the Maquis, and then reintegrated, because they had their training of Starfleet, learned the field of the battlefield of the fix on the go, reintegrated that with Federation ideals, which lets B'Elanna do crazy things inside the box, at the edge of the box, and Tuvok must have learned, right? So they end up being really creative, and that's why Kim, who's not always a standout character, you can always trust him to have a science idea. Because he's operations, but really he slants kind of science all the time. We've had a discussion him and 7 of 9 kind of the science skew. But Tuvok is not a slouch. B'Elanna's got real good science, gut reactions and idea throwing in. It's a creative crew. I wouldn't necessarily say Troy is the most creative or Riker is the most creative in terms of problem solving. Good problem solving, not necessarily creative problem solving. These are all kind of creative, right?
We all have different approaches to it. They're not relying on their Starfleet training to do the Starfleet checklist, and they think outside the box, because some of them were outside the box at the beginning of it.
Probably also like the NX1 a little bit. No, jump in with Super Jack, so I've got to point that.
Yeah, tab extra throws in 50 Krona, so thank you. Voyager, everybody but Paris and Neelix does science to the 10th degree. Even Chakotay did the technobabble.
Yeah.
Hey, Paris built a goddamn shuttle. He built the Delta Flyer, and he also works on old cars. So, I mean, that's some kind of science. Mechanical sciences.
Yeah, they're all smart cookies.
And Neelix, that's chef science, man.
I mean, can you imagine how much energy they saved by having the chef? I mean, imagine being the guy that has to cook food every day, 3 times a day or twice a day for 160 people, 120 people for years. Yeah. That's a big, bold thing to imagine. You be the cook all the time. Who was a captain originally? He's a trader captain, so the fact he likes to cook is a side luck thing, right? Bahan says, I'm not a fan of Voyager, so I guess I'm not a huge fan of this crew. Maybe 3 or 4 of them I like. I like them all, man.
Yeah, I like them all for different reasons.
Yeah.
My least favorite's B'Elanna, but it's just her attitude kind of sucks. And that
But at
annoys
least
me.
you can acknowledge she's damn good at her job.
Yes, I do. Absolutely. Yeah.
It's like Tim Russ. If you've met Tim Russ, he can sometimes be a bit abrasive.
Yeah.
And I know you're more biased against actor to character. And then Garrett, everyone fucking loves Garrett. So if you like Kim more, it's funny how the skew is kind of. But this might. I mean, are these currently the front runners? Because they're the really talented set of people here who will go past their original programming, as it were. The Doctor grows far beyond Tuvok evolves. Paris also goes from convict to not.
I don't know. I don't know if they're, because each crew has its own unique set of reasons that they could be number one. I don't know. I didn't think we were actually going to be picking it.
No, I'm just saying words, right? I'm just having a discussion. Because I'm also conceiving this crew also should. You look at the TNG crew. Geordie's the fixer. So is Data. In this crew, Tuvok I'm sure could fix. Blana can fix. Edith can fix. Seven can fix. Kim can fix.
Don't forget that Janeway is a scientist. She does a lot of science stuff, which is fixing things.
Well, I meant the literal sense, but yeah, like you said, building the shuttle. Like, he must be able to understand how to take apart a shuttle to build a new shuttle, right? And you'd think if you're the captain, you should know a lot of stuff. And given there's 3 captains in this lot, yeah, really talented crew. Probably that's what I was gonna say for the super chat. And again, thank you guys. I think there's something to do with the every day is kind of a fight for their lives, in that they are so alone. Any bad mistakes or any playing it safe is not necessarily rewarded, so they have to sort of want to be better to help the crew, because everything they can also do will help. Paris being a medic, etc. Neelix being a security officer for a few specific times, etc. TNG is more comfortable, right? You can just be a counsellor for 6 years and be chill. It's all good, right? Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, who do we go to next?
Let's see. Let's do.
Yeah, this is a great discussion so far. I'm really enjoying the breakdown in this form.
Go with DS9.
I'll let you take it away, Stuart.
Just finish watching it with Sylvia.
Although, can we clarify bridge officer here? Because Jake and Quark are not bridge officers, either defined or on Promenade. So, so are we taking them out of the equation?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I mean, they might prop up some of the other personnel, but yeah.
But I guess we can add Rom kind of in.
Yeah.
So I just want to clarify for. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Well, Cisco is hands down my favorite captain. For multiple different reasons. He's definitely the Starfleet dad, I guess. He's got his dad responsibilities, but he's also got a lot going on otherwise, and even to be a religious icon. But that's another situation altogether. No, Cisco is just one that doesn't take shit from anybody, and he does wear his emotions on his sleeve somewhat. I mean, a lot. I love the fact that he even intimidates Worf, which, would be a great thing to hear from anybody. So yeah, he's thrust into this position. He was a commander because stations didn't have captains. That was just a thing. But then he very quickly earned his right to become a captain, which I love. But yeah, he was reluctant to take it. He had just lost his wife. He was in a bad spot in his life. But he was at least willing to do the adventure. And then, yes, he absolutely picks up the gauntlet and runs with it and does a fantastic job. Okay. Then we've got Dax. Like 5 lifetimes of experience, or however many it was. And again, a very capable science officer. Very capable. And plus, having that pool of knowledge to draw from can only amplify anything, I love when Esri she gets her promotion. It's because I don't know what you'd learn in Starfleet in the next couple of years that she wouldn't have learned in the 300 years of previous lifetimes kind of argument, right? So Jadzia is very well spoken. I know that Terry Farrell didn't feel comfortable at first because didn't really have a lot of acting, skills. So the actress was kind of uncomfortable and awkward in the position, but Dax you never got that sense.
I didn't even know that. That's interesting. She's so effortless in the first season. Wow.
Yeah, she really struggled because she's going up with Avery Brooks, like who's just a powerhouse of acting, right? So anyway, it's in the documentary if you check that out. So yeah, she was great and very capable. And you got Chief O'Brien. He's the Mr. Fix-It, can do anything. Always has his sleeves rolled up. Always kind of doing something, complaining about something because something's always breaking, but very capable. And I love that they brought him over from TNG because he was just a transporter chief, and then he got a little bit more in later seasons. But I'm glad that he kind of found his role here, and he's absolutely the most important man in Starfleet history for multiple reasons. Kira, of course, terrorist. I hate leading off with that, but it's true. Very passionate about making sure that Bajor gets what it deserves, and kind of hesitant with Starfleet at first, but very quickly learns to appreciate Starfleet's values, and especially the Cisco, the way that they work together. It's very competent, very capable, very experienced. Like, she's got so much going for her. She's kind of seen it all, and that that's somebody you'd want as your first officer. Bashir, I mean, we find out later, genetically enhanced to be super smart, but again, comes in. He wanted to be on the frontier of medicine. He wanted to be seeing new things from the Gamma Quadrant, new diseases to tackle. He loves to solve a puzzle. So very capable and also very willing to take on the unknown, which I think is super handy. And then Odo, of course, shapeshifter, security officer. You couldn't ask for anything better than that because it comes in handy quite often. I feel like I'm talking a lot. I just want you to jump in here, and then we'll see where we bounce back and forth from.
Okay, yeah, no. I thought what I noticed most, and I saw another super chat. I know these uniforms quite well, and it's obviously a kind of unique press photo, given the staging. I didn't know this existed. This is a really nice high res version. Why Dax? Why has everyone got a blue undershirt? Given there was never a blue undershirt.
I think it's supposed to be gray, but it's just the color grading is off, maybe, because I think it looks gray personally.
Yeah, because in the show,
especially Cisco's,
it's either here's a closer. It's either meant to be a slight purple in season 1 and 2, and it goes to the normal grey from then on. But it's just interesting how the shading is so different. I mean, Brian's looks really close, but it's weird how colour graded that. It's very distinct. Anyway, yeah, this is interesting. It is a motley crew in a sense as well. But you have a super chat, just remember, so jump on as well, because you guys get
preferential treatment.
Yes, exactly.
Tab extra, throws in 20 krona. The command crew who grew the most.
Do you mean this or Voyager? Because I don't know which you mean, Tab. Clarify.
I think all the command crews we've talked about have grown a lot. TOS is probably the least growable one, honestly. Their characters kind of stay the same the entire time. Everybody else, from Enterprise to Voyager to TNG, Stranger Worlds is kind of the odd man out there as well.
Because the command crew here is only Cisco, Dax, Worf, and Kira. Like, command crew.
Yeah.
Whereas outside Voyager, the command crew is slightly more. Please clarify. This DS9, really? You think they grew the most? I mean, Cisco didn't change almost at all, apart from confidence. Like, he's very much a similar man in season 1 as he is in season 7, apart from the whole God thing. It's the relationships developed, not necessarily the people as much. Like, Jadzia is sort of the same lady from season 1 to season 5. She's not that different. Worf is very much the same guy from TNG, just given more lines. I don't know. I think maybe they don't change the most.
Yeah.
Because Paris is more different from season 1 to 7.
It might feel like there's more character development because of Bashir, like you're learning more about him and his genetic augmentation, which kind of makes you look back on everything he did before that you knew that kind of differently. But Kira, I think, is the character with the most change.
Yep. Well, her starting scene, doesn't she like punch the wall, like punch the screen or something in the brief room?
Or the desk.
Yeah, like that, you know, because it's not got to be a nice assignment being put onto your old prison camp mining thing. It's a shitty assignment to get, really. It's not a reward for good service. That's we need a hard ass to be on a hard assignment, and a good place to be.
Yeah.
So bridge crew, yeah. Kira, tactical slant, obviously, but good at leading, and the fact that she, okay, Petra Sword, she kind of smooths down the point over the years, but still is pointy against enemies. So not quite the perfect allegory, but she smooths out her personality to become far more of a human again. Human, you know what I mean? Like she's just aggressive in season 1.
It's racist.
I know. I was thinking the exact same thing. Thank you for that. But she becomes she grows in a good way. Dax, very capable. Probably possibly underuse the generation of knowledge, but how often are you going to need, you know, cookery recipe from a musician? But I don't think trills are such that you can access everything, otherwise that would be too much for a brain to handle. So, you know, things like that are going to pop out from 400 years ago, but you can access if you need to, I would assume, or it's too much. So she's very capable by herself, if anything. Bashir, I mean, he goes from the conceptually good officer to the exceptional, trying to not keep things broken. Because he fixes stuff. He doesn't design new stuff, he fixes broken stuff, you know? It's like, let's stop it from falling apart more. Like, he's not really a designer like Geordi and Data are in the same way. He's a crisis management expert. Does that make sense?
Are we talking about Bashir?
Yeah. Well, because the station's always breaking and he's always fixing. But, like, the Enterprise D... What did I say here?
Bashir.
Sorry, yeah,
I was confused. I'm
staring at O'Brien, sorry. Yeah, O'Brien, he's a fixer, not necessarily a builder, designer, whatever. It's a different... Which is great, very talented. But he's almost like that's why he's always on the front line. He's always got to be the one to go in and help fix stuff, etc.
Well, he's the one that can cobble together whatever you need with spare parts.
Oh, he would out Geordi that. He would do it.
I mean, all engineers can do that, but yeah, I think O'Brien's more of the down in the dirt kind of engineer.
Yeah, he would beat Geordi absolutely at the MacGyvering. B'Elanna might be close, but she'd do some really dangerous solution that he wouldn't do. He'd do a more clever solution, probably.
I think it's the other way around.
You think?
Yeah, I think B'Elanna would be more clever and more by the book.
Really?
Whereas Ryan would definitely do what works. Have it work with the chance of it maybe exploding. That's what I think. Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, Bashir, of course, excellent doctor, and he's the fact that he's like the Doctor from Voyager. He's presented always new things for the most part, right? New alien plagues, new viruses. He's actually pushing medicine in a way that Beverly is, but even though there's also new, it's in Federation closeness space, whereas Gamma Quadrant is far more alien. But that might just be a perspective thing.
Yes.
And Mirage says O'Brien is more of a tactician than a full-fledged engineer.
A technician, yeah.
Oh, technician. Well, if he is, that's a weird guy to promote. But he's a very good team leader, so I think he should still be a full engineer class. Odo, of course, very useful in every situation. Right?
More or less, yeah.
Kind of OP. And Cisco... What did he do beforehand? I know his autobiography's out. What was he beforehand, do you think? He wasn't a scientist.
I'm not sure. I haven't read the autobiography yet.
I don't know if he ever piloted anything. As in the show. I don't know if they ever... He's always commanding. I don't know if he ever did that sort of... I wonder if he's a security officer. Because that wouldn't... He's kind of an angry guy sometimes. I wonder if he's security turned command track turned captain.
Trying to remember. I don't think there's anything that really references that necessarily.
Which why my boy gets on with Worf so well, because Worf is, that path, because he's totally command tracking.
I mean, Benjamin and Curzon had quite a. Curzon was like his mentor kind of thing. So
he was
Curzon was a diplomat.
So I'm gonna Google.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure now that you said.
Because he's always commanding, like that's his thing. He's in command. Whereas Picard, he'll do a lot of other stuff. Okay, let me. You guys put super chats your thoughts on the DS9 crew, and if you disagree with our thoughts, and I'm going to research it.
Tab Extra says Cisco was an engineer, oversaw the Defiant. Yeah, he has assisted with the Defiant's development.
I would argue that he probably said, I want this thing to shoot faster, how can we make it work? You guys work out how, and I'll help pick out the furniture and the colours and the RGB and...
No.
Yeah. He helped design it thematically and structurally. I don't think he's actually went into any corridors necessarily and fixed complicated stuff. I never got that sense from him. Right, I'm going to read this IMDb. Or this memory out.
You do that. Give me a chance to tell you guys to hit that like button again. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Let's get those likes up to 50 if we can. Keep the super chats coming. We really appreciate you guys that do so. Yeah, we do make sure that you guys get your comments read for sure because you're helping out the channel. We appreciate that. So, but yes, I think we've had a good discussion thus far, and I'm looking forward to seeing who else is on this list. And if you guys have anybody suggestion-wise, feel free to super chat it in, crew-wise, and maybe we will discuss them as well. So, O'Brien referred to himself as a tinkerer. Yes. I would assume O'Brien's a self-taught kind of guy. As a kid, I can see him like, I don't know how this works. Let's take it apart. Figure out how it works and put it back together. So yeah, absolutely. That's what I would assume. That's what I picture when I hear tinkerer, somebody that just might not know how it works, but takes it apart to learn how it works.
But also, he was never an academy graduate, so he had to learn it a different way, right?
Yeah.
No, according to this, he says he was an engineer, studied to be an engineer, which I did not see in the character at all. He was neither fixing his ship or helping to fix his ship.
Or the station.
Or the station.
Just complain about it. Mr. O'Brien.
Because you can see Picard do piloting in the show. Janeway certainly sciencing all over the place. You can see Kirk pilot. Yeah, I mean technically he piloted the Constellation.
Auxiliary control.
Yeah,
it's not easy.
Who else do we have? Engineer. Wow. That did not have thought of him. Huh.
Makes sense with the Defiant development, though. Tab Extra throws in 20 krona, so thank you. The board game bridge crew. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's classic for real. I bought the book in Vegas and met the author, and I haven't read it yet. Autobiography of Benjamin Sisko. But yeah. Wesley says, check out the MOVA globe. Very cool. I must to have. Yeah, I have one. I have a MOVA globe of Jupiter actually upstairs. I gave it to. Well, Sylvia has it. I gave it to Sylvia for Christmas. MOVA globes are cool. Yes. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. Huh. Good point, Marco. Marco points out he also built the Bajoran light sail ship from scratch, essentially. He built the ancient Bajoran sail ship. So yes, you're absolutely right.
Although you say that, of course, but Paris built the Delta Flyer and he was not an engineer.
Yeah.
So
he was like medical, pilot, and kind of engineering. His wife is an engineer, so.
Oh yeah, she definitely helps.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see a prequel anthology. A Cisco thing, to see him as an engineer, to see that character re-shown in that lens. I'd be interested in that. And it's sad. Avery Cisco will be one of the few people who seems to be on the trajectory to never get a renaissance. Yeah. Everyone else, except Coney Bakula, I suppose, but he's not young, but he could easily come back, and he's now whatever.
And Sniper says, if Sisko had been an engineer, he should have been wearing gold in the beginning of the series flashback. No, because he switched to command track because he was commander of the ship.
Yep, he was a second in command of that ship, so that's fine. That's fine. All the time I've seen him, he's been command track.
And people have switched before. I mean, look at Rutherford. He's switched
Worf.
Each division.
Yeah,
one episode. So
yeah, it's weird to see Worf swap between. So yeah, okay. So in this set. Sounds like that's a really interesting Sisko sidestep. How do these guys' talents compare then to other people's, do you think? Can I express a metaphor in my head that I'm thinking when I look at these people?
Yes.
So the Voyager crew and such, and maybe the TNG crew, they might finesse a problem. This team are a bigger hammer to the nail of the problem. Might brute force the problem.
Yeah, almost every one of them. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Not less talented, just a very different way of doing it.
Yes.
More brute force.
Yeah, I'm looking at each one of them thinking, yep, oh yeah, absolutely. Sisko, we're going to fire these torpedoes into the atmosphere.
Or you'll back down, or I'll punch you, yeah. Certainly Kira, Jadzia, she's so brazenly go-getter. Worf, yeah. Oh, goodness. A lot less finesse in this crew.
Tab extra with another 20 Kronos, so thank you, sir. Enterprise B crew minus A minus crew.
I can try and find. Yeah, that's super interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, and having just rewatched this series, like this one gets you a little emotional at the end for sure. They definitely did character development and getting the characters intertwined with each other done very well, much more than any of the other shows, really.
It's like I always say, DS9's characters, Voyager is aliens and sci-fi, different sides of a different coin, and they each do each thing exceptionally well, depending what you're interested in. Because it kind of amazed me. I did a rewatch of an episode recently, and I'm like, this episode is just talking in rooms. Yeah, but guess what? It's damn entertaining, but it's just talking in rooms. And that's okay, because it works, right?
That's what we do every day here on Trekyards.
There are rooms. So speaking of nothing that we talked about, let's jump around a little bit. You mentioned the A crew. Let's talk about... I mean, this is obviously Subject 5, as you can tell, because, the hair of Nichelle Nichols. So this is the older version of the TOS crew, because they do change, they do evolve. So let's see how capable they are. And we are 45 minutes left, guys. Put in for more super chats, your thoughts, comments, let us know. This is a funny one, because unlike the previous TOS crew, in the movies, Scotty is so smart, he doesn't know where a goddamn beam is and knocks himself out, which is very dumb. Uhura is so dumb she can't speak Klingon. Bones is so dumb he doesn't know Klingon anatomy. So there's some significant idiocy factors which come into play in this crew. That's 3 out of the 7, right?
And Spock's so dumb he thinks that one of his ancestors went to China. Or one of his ancestors said that only Nixon can go to China. That was just because of the McCoy Contra thing. It's fine.
One of his ancestors had the pipe in the hat? Was that what you meant?
Oh, yes. One of my ancestors maintained that when she eliminated the impossible, whatever remains however improbable must be the truth. Yeah.
I think certainly Sulu and Chekhov, they've been raised so strong by these films. But that's just because they're used. Because Chekhov's a good in command, he bluffs really well, he vibes that chair well, considering. Sulu, of course, he's tactical in a bit, and then obviously he does a very good captaining, which is entirely a shift away. So, for what they're given, they both raise their characters. They don't do much dumb, right? I mean, Kirk is ever good, for the most part, and Spock is pretty smart throughout. Although, boy, Risk is not...
Risk is our business.
I was trying not to let you do that. No. My melding Voyager, you dumbass.
No.
Big ass play. But what do you think? I've noted that 3 are actively stupidified in the movies.
Well, that was just for some laughs, and to give the character something to do, because they really didn't have a large part of those movies necessarily. And yeah, the Shell Nichols thing, she fought against that scene. She did not want to do it because it didn't make any sense for the character, but it was a decision that was made, and of course they have to do what the director says. So yeah, those scenes are explainable. That's just director's choice, I guess. I don't know.
But they're there, unfortunately.
The most egregious one to me is McCoy. I don't even know his anatomy. Really? In Trouble with Tribbles, you scanned him and said, "Man, Jim, this man's a Klingon," because you fucking knew what. And it's fine.
Okay, let's break down for a second. What good doctoring does McCoy do in the movies? I mean, I'll give him credit for Ilea. It won't all just be scanning. He does some good deduction for that stuff. It can't all just be scanners, right?
He let Scotty's nephew die, so that's not good.
Yep, that's deduction.
He holds Spock's whole consciousness and soul to bring Spock back to life. I mean, that's
that's some hardcore doctoring right there.
He's just a container, but that's okay.
5.
I'm thinking 4, first of all. 4, does he do anything? No. 5. He tries to save Chancellor Gorkon, who dies.
6, I mean.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
I don't think there's anything doctoring in 5.
5. Beans and bourbon, I mean...
Oh, that would heal a few things, yeah.
There you go, yeah.
Look, baked beans are great in England. We need good baked beans.
I love baked beans, too.
And 7, he said no, so...
But he was in, to be fair, Encounter at Farpoint, so...
Yep. Any doctoring in that? No. So really, he didn't do a jack shit doctoring pretty much the entire franchise at that point onwards. So that, I think we can both say, Stuart, he's a worse doctor. Now, in fairness, he effing retired, he became a disco guy, and was forced back. So he probably said, "I'm not doing any doctoring. I'm just going to make jokes. No doctor." So Chapel said, "Oh, Chapel left as well. God damn." Yeah.
Mark Lawrence, $5. Star Wreck in the Perkinning crew. F for fuck off.
Which we've just seen, Stuart, and it was great. Well done, Mark. I love that. Good reference.
All right, we still have some actual Star Trek crews to talk about, though.
But yeah, I think fair enough. McCoy, worst doctor of the movies. Okay, cool. Uhura.
Yeah.
Whale song, but that's also a computer and someone's told her to. So what credit can you give her for that specifically? Doesn't do anything, Khan?
Not really.
She literally is gone in 4. 4? 5?
In 3.
3. Literally gone in 3.
Well, she put Mr. Venture in a closet and then shows up on Vulcan randomly.
Beats him to it. 5, she's
Scotty's love interest, brings him lunch.
She's kind of,
and she dances naked.
Okay, she's a better officer than 5. Yeah. 2-1 for the team. 6, she's actually worse, and 7, she again isn't in it. So yeah, she's a worse communications officer. Oh god. Now Scotty though, he refits the Enterprise in first one. That's him and his team, and they mostly do it. Credit for that. He fixes the Enterprise in 2 enough to live. He does that.
Yep.
Him and his team, but still. 3.
3, he automates the Enterprise to be able to fulfill by just them. That's amazing. And he sabotages Excelsior.
Without getting caught. So yeah, he freaking sabotages. 4, he makes a bird of prey usable. And he helps to bloody refit a goddamn bridge module. And does whale stuff. And so yeah, 4, he's kicking ass.
He invented TARDIS tech to make sure those whales could fit in there, which is great.
You just talked to the Discovery crew, yeah. Because that ship was already there, Stuart, you know? 5, he does work out a way of breaking into his own brig.
Yeah.
Which is, in fairness, cool for him, but then he knocks himself out. So, let's call that a null. And he can't fix the ship either, so...
Yeah, he can't fix the ship. I was just going to say, the alert, the doors.
Yeah, so 5's a loss. Doesn't do anything in 6, apart from being a sleuth. I think he does. Well, he shoots the guy, I guess, but again, that's not an engineer thing.
Yeah, he shoots the assassin. Yeah, no, not really. He's a better character in the movies.
But he's a better engineer, I think. Or he maintains, right?
Yeah.
The other two, they get stuff to do, so we'll say they're better at their roles because they do more. Spock, I think, probably equal, right? He does a lot of genius shit. And Kirk, probably equal as well. So, fair to say, Stuart, probably a net worse at their job team.
That's fair, but okay.
But they're more well-rounded because they're all promoted, right? They all want to do, like, Chekhov wants his own goddamn ship. He escapes the goddamn ship. He's second in command of another ship. He's dragged back in for 10 years, just being the guy at bloody helm. You know, they want to do their own thing. They keep getting pulled back. Tab, McCoy did regrow liver with a pill. Yeah, Hidden's on a pill.
Yeah, he just gave her the pill.
Yeah. That's really interesting.
He did fix Chekhov's damage in Star Trek 4 when he fell and they put the thing on his head. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Prepared the artery, I guess. That's what it was.
Okay. No. Yeah.
Tab Extra throws in 50 krona. Chekhov lacked the willpower to kill himself along his captain. What?
Oh, to fight the
yes,
worms,
yeah.
But
earbug.
we can't lose Chekhov, so I'm okay with that. I'm not going to duck points to that, I think.
And Classic for Real throws in $5.
Thanks so much.
Here's to the current survivors of the best crew of the Enterprise, Denny Crane, Bester, and the granddad from Super Ninjas. Okay. Cool.
Oh, dear. Okay, super interesting. That was a really good... Okay, there's a few more to go to. And I'll find an Enterprise B crew pick if someone's paying $5 for Enterprise B and we'll debate them. So I've got to go find a still. So $5 and I'll do the Enterprise B. All the Enterprise B. But only for 5. Oh, goody. I forgot they were here, I'll be honest, Stuart.
Season 1.
This is the bridge crew, because they all F off.
Captain ever. Lorca. He's a fantastic captain, in my opinion.
He does captain the captain.
He does.
Undeniable. Yeah.
Saru, very unsure of himself. Petty little squabbles with Burnham.
He does sign some. But Burnham outsciences him. One of the things he does the most is he zooms in on a zoomed in view screen.
Yes.
Which is not something you can do. That's not... It's like how your phone has a physical optical zoom and a digital zoom. Zooming in the digital zoom doesn't actually make new detail. It just zooms into the best the other zoom could do. It's actually a worse image. Or you can get almost identical image if you just do both. Oh, Han, who is cosplayers? Oh. So Saru, decent science, but not great. I mean, Burnham, great science, right? She is.
She's great at everything.
Yeah, so actually she's very capable. Detmer, as we've joked, and I love the joke, fucking Stamets pilots the ship 9% of the time. He spore jumps, he works the location, he does the jump. She doesn't do jack almost the entire thing. So if she needs to click the button, then he does it, then she's not partying most of the time. Just saying.
Yeah. Tab Extra, 50 krona. I need a reminder about what these roles are. Who does what? Well, yeah, exactly.
And again, a reminder, guys, $5 and I'll throw the Enterprise B crew. If you guys want to see us bait.
So I guess Washington would have been like security because it's a tactical because that's the side she was on.
Isn't Bryce secure? No, I
don't know what the fuck Bryce does.
Because Reese is communications. Right?
I don't know. I don't know.
No, he is. Yeah, they're hailing. Yeah, he says that a few times.
Sure.
Okay. I mean, Bryce must be tactic.
ISFJ 1009 says I'll give $20 to skip this one. Okay, if you throw in a $20,
Yes.
we will stop talking about Discovery.
Hey, that will basically hit our goal.
It will solve our problem.
It would.
Because I don't know what to say.
No, Bryce is the communication officer. What the fuck's Reese do then? What the fuck's Reese role? It's not science. There else is science.
RHYS.
Thank you. Yeah.
Dave, Area 51 throws in $5. Give us the B crew.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. Oh, for God's sake, he's tactical.
So Reese is tactical.
Yes.
Bryce is communications.
And I thought it was the other way around. I've been watching this show for 7 years, and I got there.
ISFJ 1009 throws in $20. Goodbye. And that's how it's done, folks. All right. What's next?
All right. We love you guys.
You got a B crew one? Because
I will find one. I will find one. Guys, you're amazing. Thank you.
The Picard bridge crew. We got Captain Shaw. We got Sydney LaForge.
And I really want to put these guys in because they actually were a bridge crew. Give them credit. They made a bridge crew feeling only so many episodes in.
Yes, they did. I caught a talk that Todd Stashwick was giving in Vegas, and he's like, as a captain, I used to be an engineer, so every captain has the way they sit. So the way he sits is he like leans forward, like looking into something like to solve the problem. And I love that he did that because it makes a lot of sense actually. But so yeah, I think
you say that, but I remember him doing it all the time. Now you've said it, 100%.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think Shaw. I like Shaw. I like his attitude, but as a captain, he kind of fucking fumbled the ball a bit in that season. There were many opportunities on the bridge where they were being held hostage by Vadic that he could have done something and just kind of stood by. He got his leg broken. He's had some issues. He's got some PTSD, but I still like the guy. He's not the best captain.
Although, who doesn't have PTSD from the Dominion War? Like, they're going to be tens of thousands that have PTSD, right? Not to diminish it, but, like, lots of people do.
Yeah. Now, the best officer here, I think, is the Vulcan. She was part Vulcan, part what? Can't remember now. Anyway, unfortunately, she does get killed, but she was a fantastic up to that point. I got to brush up on my Picard season 3 because I'm drawing a lot of blanks here. Everybody else did stuff and were memorable enough, way better than Discovery, but I say that and I can't think of anything else to say about them.
Well, this crew comes down to vibe. They all felt capable.
Yes.
They all felt present, and we kept cutting to them to do a thing in the role they were assigned to do. So you felt like I understood what they all did, right? Because I believe alien lady with the forehead, she's tactical. She's security. Vulcan is science, of course. Sydney is pilot, and other alien man, he's ops, data's equivalent role. So things and bobs, and then Seven second in command. I think that's who is meant to do what, based on what I remember. No dedicated science officers, but it's a low-end cruiser, right? It isn't necessarily, as we know from this era. And I have got a B. I've got a B shot. A, comma, B shot. And again, thanks for that, guys. Nope. Gorgonzola. That's funny. That's a good job. Yeah, they're very well suited to their ship. Low-end, mid-range, gentle, happy days, right? A peacetime crew. Sydney, great pilot. Love the energy. She's She's got. Look at these breakdowns. I think she's a mix between Paris and NX-01 guy. He's innately talented, but isn't a show off. Paris is innately talented and is a show off, but he's not as calm as I think she's quite a calm, innately talented, slightly show off. Guy next to her, I remember liking him, but I don't remember what he did particularly. Not a lot. Science guy, you're right. She really did every line she nailed really well.
Yeah, we really liked her.
Everyone did, which is why it was genuinely like, oh, that's one of the best ones, and you killed, you pricks. But also, as if they built that into the story, we were going to build something up to do bad things. I'm pretty sure that one's tactical, but let me have a look. Obviously, 7, she was always butting heads with the team. Let's not pretend she was a great second in command, because she probably wasn't really. And she certainly wasn't sciencing. But that's okay. Okay, so we had Lieutenant Tavine was the Vulcan. Cylinder Forge, of course. We had Ensign Esmar, which was the alien. All 10 episodes. On the IMDb. Lieutenant Murrah was the guy who we don't know the name of.
Yeah, but now we do.
Yeah. My PC is a bit slow right now. Hold on.
2 more likes, guys. 2 more likes, get to 50. Hit that like button if you're just joining us or haven't hit it yet. We'd appreciate it.
And how's the poll doing?
Let's see how many people are on there. I had it open literally till like 5 minutes ago, and then I closed it. You dickhead.
Oh no, I'm wrong. It's just communications. Okay.
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 We have 91 votes. Let's get another 9 votes on the poll. If you haven't voted on it yet, go please do so. 100 votes would be awesome. 7 was one of the most experienced and smartest on that bridge, though, even if she wasn't an ideal officer. Yes, but you don't get that. You don't get the same 7 character that was in Deep Space, in Deep Space Nine, in Voyager at all with this 7. Very jaded, very.
Hey, Matthew. Let's see.
For better or for worse, I guess.
Oh, because we've seen her be. I mean, it was still a tremendous course correction from seasons 1 and 2, of course, right? But had they started here, it would have been much better. But yeah, doesn't bring the science, doesn't bring the Borg expertise actually at all. Just brings the command experience a bit. Yeah, really unbalanced in terms of characterization. It's more just 7's character that's printed by Jerry Ryan versus a specific. I'm gonna add this to the plot. Even like anti-Borg stuff she doesn't really do. She just shoots some people in the last episode and pelts pirates and such.
Yeah.
Hadn't thought of that. But still, I mean, still pretty capable crew, but nothing special. But you trust them all in most situations, right?
Yeah. Tab extra, 50 krona. 7 is a terrible officer, but she would be a great rouge captain.
Which she
I think
is.
you mean rogue captain.
Which she is many a time before that. Interesting. So they're not going to be high ranked for us, but I definitely want to include them because I thought they deserved that. And certainly Sydney and the Vulcan deserve high rank. You know,
And Shaw.
and sure, but he
was
also
a good captain when there wasn't something emergency wise going on.
Yeah, talent, but with a clear demerit. Speaking of look at Demora and the B crew. I got there.
Sergeant Montgomery, $2.
Oh, thank you.
Been a long time since my last super chat. Hello, Sergeant Montgomery. Welcome back.
Why's that been? We're always here. Exactly. So, make it a point to jump back in. So the B crew. Now, funny old set of people. We've got Demora Sulu, great, who I've met, lovely lady. We've got Ginger Guy, who's then in 24 and loads of other things. Character actor, who's also in TNG, actually, who is Guy. We've got the behind the reporter on the right. We've got Bald Guy, who's comm officer, human. We've got Not Tuvok, Harriman, and that's the bridge crew.
Chick from Aliens and Terminator.
Oh yeah,
Good chick.
yeah. But we knew them all. not by name or role, although you can guess role based on placement on the bridge. Your thoughts intro is B, but not for Barricade, just for B.
Harriman's not a bad captain, despite what everybody says. He just got a shit deal, unfortunately. Shit set of circumstances delivered to him. I don't know. I think they handle it all pretty well. It's hard to say. I mean, we can't just assume Demora is a good pilot because her dad was Sulu.
Well, I mean, I say that in the sense that she felt confident, assertive, and I know that Michael and Denise, Michael Okuda and Doug actually went with her to practice playing the keyboard of her console. So she plays it with a confidence that few have. So that's why I say she's good, because she really vibes into the role. That's what I meant. And also, just looking at the IMDb, the ginger guy, Glenn, was navigator, logically. The bald guy, who's actually famous, he's in Voyager, loads of roles, I think, is a comm officer. Makes sense, a bald guy from the right. The aliens lady, she's a science officer. Makes sense. And Demora is plain Demora, of course, pilot.
Yeah, I don't know much else to say. This is not a crew that I would have put on the list. So,
but you guys did, and you guys, this is a true...
It's just a shit set of circumstances. They're probably a good crew, but they all seem young and inexperienced. So it's a younger crew going in. I think there's nobody with any experience except for maybe bald guy.
Although not 20s, they're like... I don't think they're young. They're just.
I feel like they're all new to their ranks.
Yeah, that's what I'd give you. They've all been promoted for this ship.
Yeah.
And they're not necessarily, but also it's the shakedown cruise, right? It's not meant to be. Even the first year, they were literally like, I would not be surprised if their cabins weren't fully stocked with their possessions yet. They don't need to be, right?
Yeah.
They're not launched yet. So this is them literally this is the press tour, literally.
Yep.
And yeah, I don't give Harriman a bad rap on this film because it really was not his fault in almost any way.
Yeah, exactly.
If you throw any other captain in the situation with this ship, they would also struggle massively. Because that's kind of the point. It was their own Kobayashi Maru, and it took Kirk literally, almost suiciding. And almost it would have been a suicide mission to save the ship. So big price, right? Although almost anyone, I think loads of people on the bridge crew could have done that maneuver. All they had to do was move some things over. So loads of people could have done that. It wasn't a Kirk specific thing. It was he who took the Canis Everdeen. He put his hand up and said, "I'll do it." Right?
Yeah. Tab extra 50 Corona. Thank you so much. Remember, new ship takes months doing a shakedown cruise. Yes, they can absolutely take.
Yeah, sure.
During development, yes.
Sure, yeah.
But this feels like the development was all worked out. This was just
formality in a good
everything
way.
would have been finished the following week.
Yeah.
For the final launch.
And the final paint the second week, yeah. Oh, I do wish this... I mean, it's one of my favourite scenes in the movie is this section, because it's really nice. Obviously, we love this era, we love these uniforms, it's well done. It would have been fun to have explored the idea of the press being forced to be officers a bit more. It's such a funny concept. Like you're literally a news reporter. It's like, right, now you're going to be our engineer. What? Yes. Go do this, and this. Like, okay. What? Yeah. Okay, cool.
All right. So now to our last one, probably.
Excellent. Oh yes.
Prodigy. You should have got a season 2 picture.
Yeah, I wanted them all together. So
should have got a season 2 picture.
Thoughts?
Like them on the bridge at the end. I don't know. Anyway.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can't really see them in the same picture, I think.
Talk about ragtag. This is way more ragtag than Voyager. But yeah, I think I love that Dal eventually. Spoilers, by the way. Anybody has seen season 2 of Prodigy, so you can leave now. I love that Dal kind of learns his place. That yes, he wants to be a captain, and pretends and tries to be a captain for almost 2 seasons, and then at the end realizes that I still got a little bit to learn. Maybe not a lot, a little bit to learn. I'm not quite good at making those final decisions. I'm going to be your first officer, and puts Gwen in charge because she's got a little bit more mature outlook on things. So yeah, Jankum. I mean, the transforming MIT tool, that's pretty cool, and percussive maintenance for the win. Zero, I think, makes a really great medical officer / science officer. More science officer, I think, in season 1, but definitely has the knack for that. Rock, originally kind of security, but just because I'm big, I don't want to be security. Then moves on to xenobiology. I don't know. It's fine. Murph is security because shapeshifting. It's Odo again, essentially. So there you go. I love Prodigy, but don't really have a sense of them as a crew because they're kind of all over the place for most of it. So
yeah, they are just people forced together. Now Gwen, of course, is the standout because she came from a structured, ordered world of her prison, penal colony, attention, horrible place, live place. Yeah, we know. But that's actually a structured place. She has tactical skills. She has... Does she show engineering skills at any point? I don't know. I wouldn't say engineering, but she's tactical. She's command. She's diplomacy. She's languages.
Yeah.
So actually, really broad skill set, and she's good at all of them for a good reason, and not in a over the top way. But she can't do, I think, engineering. That's fair to say. So she's very talented. Dahl is a good pilot because he does pilot the Speeder in season 2. So that's fair, and that's a hard thing to pilot, I would assume. So we'll give him a pilot pass. Leader, let's not give him that pass necessarily. I don't think he's done much else, which is fine. Rock could security clearly, but science is a knack and can science. Good job. Jankum is, I mean, he's the sort of guy that I'd love to see him in 10 years with all the training. Clearly loads of potential because he does loads of really impressive things fixing wise. Cool. Zero, actually, seriously talk about what they do and don't do. Season 2, they're just there. They get a body and then are there as the character, not the role. You know, they work with the doctor in the first episode and then don't do anything medical the whole time. I mean, they're literally a ball that can't move for an episode, right?
They fall in love.
Well, exactly. So really, they're not utilising the character as a role, but as a character, which is fine. That's absolutely fine. But they're not really presented in a way that they can do either thing. Though I wouldn't necessarily trust them as either a medical or a scientist. No offense to them, just I wouldn't say they're very good at either particularly, right?
I wouldn't trust them as medical for sure because they originally couldn't feel anything. So you have to have a sense of empathy and bedside manner to take care of somebody and be able to empathize with the pain you're inflicting on them. I mean, now, sure, they can feel, but...
Well, I don't think that... Is that the passion they have? To be a doctor? I wouldn't have thought so.
I mean, I say all that, and then you look at the EMH, who at least programmed with the version of empathy. You know?
Yeah, but they can feel holographically. Because they need to be able to feel cold and hot to do medical diagnoses. And then we've talked about this many a time, but squishy guy, his name is no, thank you. So many times they do the morphing tactical battery strategy, and so many times they don't.
When they could have, and it would have worked.
When that was all they had to do to get out of the situation. So I'm not going to give them credit as a security officer because they fail as half as many times as they succeed. It's not a good number when there's zero reason they can't do it when they should do it. So I'm not going to give them a pass for that. So yeah, I think fair to say they're not going to be high in the ranking for talented bridge crew. Potential they'll show something, but not as a bridge crew, I don't think. But that's also not the point, right? It's not what they're doing. They're a family misfit unit that just need to live between weeks. Okay. Yeah, interesting.
So, and we have 101 votes on the poll. Let's end that now.
Oh, brilliant.
Which is the best bridge crew? Well, TNG wins with 40%.
Okay.
TOS at 27%, and then DS9 at 21%, Voyager at 13. I think that's very representative of the age group we have watching. I think a lot of people grew up or started their journey with TNG, so that's the one that they're kind of imprinted on. I could be wrong, but
yeah, no, I think for sure. I think I would, after this, I would say Voyager is the most talented overall, because they also had to deal with all the space situations constantly, and that's what I associate being talented with a lot of the time. I think they all had to multitask as well. So I would say Voyager would be my pick for overall skill set. Because there's no real drops in ability in all of them. They all do many things, many well. Data certainly is a boss. So's Odo, but I think for me this would be the team.
I'll get to mine in just a second.
Mm-hmm.
Ray Ricks throws in 10 pounds.
Ray, you made it.
Most of the stream. Not sure how I can rate Disco Bridge Crew, as it took me all the seasons to learn their names, and then they replaced Detmer and Awashiko. To be fair, Burnham is a crew of one. Yeah, well, fortunately for us, someone paid $20 so we could stop talking about the Discovery Bridge Crew. So, ISFJ 1009, thank you so much.
And Adrian is almost finished with your engineering room, Stuart.
Nice. Yeah. Interesting.
It looks much sexier now than when I gave it to him. Yeah, because he used my model from 9 years ago, 7 years ago, whatever, and update it massively.
Oh, you can reply to super chats now. That's very cool.
Didn't know you could do it. That's cool. And also, Ray, it's amazing. And I was like, hey, Ray, I got Reese and Bryce. I got their roles the wrong way around, despite having seen them for 7 years, give or take, 6 years. That's not a good thing that I got them entirely swapped.
Yeah. All right. So my choice is probably going to be, and just hear me out for a second, Enterprise Bridge Crew for the moment, because if they had all the training of the TNG crew, being the best in their fields, as we've kind of already established, I think they would have been fantastic, knowing the ropes going in and knowing their roles and how to proceed with each procedure they were going to do. I think they would have been a kick-ass team right from the get-go. They were, but I'm just making this argument right now. But that's my thought on that. Just wish, because we kind of determined that they were all fairly good, the best in their field, and determined. But I think TNG is probably the way I'd go, just because there's a lot of, they feel like a family. You know what I mean? I love TOS, don't get me wrong, but TOS, even up to the movies, it's very much a trifecta. It's Spock, Kirk, and McCoy. The other crew are fine, but we don't really learn enough about them. I think TNG has a very balanced feel, and even though it's episodic and not serialized, they still maintain both very well, I think. So I think as a command crew, these guys have, I can see each and every one of them in the command chair, except for maybe Deanna. But I mean, even she, last season, wanted to get on the command track. So, yeah.
There's still something about Data, though, in the command track that I'd be slightly nervous about. He needs a great second in command, because he can't empathise in a way that humans can, or even aliens. So I think in many situations he might make not the most ideal human choice. Just saying. He would not be he's either perfect number 2, or if you need a good number 2 to help him. But I really love your Enterprise choice there, because that's taking it out of the context of when they're from. But yeah, they are, as we said, they're literally world best. Handpicked, the planet one we have, pretty much won the best.
At the time, yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be a different situation in TNG times, I'm sure.
Yeah,
but
TNG, Troy's not the best at her gig, Dave's not the best at his gig, Geordie's not the best. No one here is the best. Even Picard is not necessarily the best. He's just the chosen to be the most good for that assignment style. He's not best tactical, not best at he's not best at anything. I think probably Beverly is the closest to being the best at her field in that roster.
I would say Troy as well, because of the empathic abilities, yeah.
seeing this. I think.
Hold on, just one second.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Yeah, and Benjamin, we are including engineering officers. Otherwise, no engineer would be in the bridge crew, and they do sometimes go to the bridge. But we are including them for this.
Yeah.
I think with Troy though, if there was a full, do you have to pop out for a second?
No.
Oh, but yeah. I think psychologists who are a full telepath, full base would be better than her, and therefore she's not at top of her field. But certainly at higher end. I think Geordie's also pretty quite close to being a genius for engineering, because he's very good at what he does. But the point is, Enterprise and so on, those are all exceptionally good, like top tier. Had we seen more Travis, would have been nice. And you know, Mayweather's the one that's doing all the weapons of all the firefights and all the missions. Like, that's him. There's a lot more phaser fights that he's doing a lot more good jobs on. That's all him. Travis is just giving them a firing arc. And there's a lot less automatic firing and automatic... Like, he has to aim phasers in a different way that Worf is doing a lot more auto-aim, right? So, yeah, I think that's a really, really fair... I'm just using Voyager because I also think they had more advanced stuff. I don't think... I mean, could Geordie reverse engineer a slipstream drive onto the D?
Probably. Yeah, wouldn't make that assumption.
I mean, obviously I'm saying 7 plus B'Elanna, but...
Well, it would be Data plus Geordie. Yeah, they would work together.
Maybe, yes. No.
Sergeant Montgomery, $5. In my opinion, the SS Enterprise crew... Well, it wasn't the SS Enterprise until the refit of it. But anyway, had more to prove of what humanity was worth and how we fit in the universe, number one. Yeah, there are definitely some differences in opinions on these, but a case could be made for each of them, let's say, except for the Cerritos crew.
I don't think DS9 either as being top of the field, because they really aren't. That's kind of also part of it.
Yeah, I think... Well, I'm just about to say, I think they gave Commander Sisko the job as a pity thing, but at the same time, it's very important that Bajor got into the Federation. Like, Picard points that out. This is a really important assignment, so he was picked for a reason.
Well, I'm saying as a top echelon, I think DS9 would hit top echelon bridge crew. Yeah. Close for some of their heightened skill set, but I think fair to say that the TWOC crew don't. Stranger Worlds don't. I think we've worked that out for sure. It's interesting. Yeah. I mean, we're going to look at Cage bridge crew, but that's neither here nor there. I think that's not worth a discussion in this case.
No, it's not.
Like, we looked at Best Doctors and looked at... I forgot he existed. You said, oh, this guy. I'm like, oh, yeah, he is there. Or the engineer, sorry. I was like, oh, yeah. That guy. That was amusing to me. Okay, guys, right. There's 47 of you here, which is phenomenal. Put right now in the chat. We've gave you 4 options in the poll, but we've given you a lot of really good options here. Who would you say is your choice for most capable bridge crew out of all of them, which now includes Enterprise and Discovery and etc. So vote now. Go. I want to see at least 10 votes. Really want to know. Really want to know.
Ray Ricks throws in £5. The slipstream on Voyager would have been Torres 7 and Harry Kim, so would have also taken a few.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, Harry Kim was very useful in that somehow.
And Tab Extra, 100 Krona. Thank you so
Beautiful.
much.
Thank you, guys.
Can you do an ultimate crew? Pitch everyone against each other, best captain, best first officer, etc. Fill every position and make the ultimate crew. We've talked about that a few times, and we kind of do that with our ranked tier lists of like captains and whatever. But yeah, we could maybe that could be alive, building our personal dream team.
I don't know if it'd be that different though. Or no, I guess if you added who would get on with as well personally, that could be interesting. Kind of what's the American thing? The fantasy football. So fantasy football. So fantasy crew. Maybe if we work out like
fantasy bridge crew.
Fantasy bridge crew. Work out like, here are the 10 postings you need to fill. Who would you pick in the pantheon?
But each one should have a certain point assigned to them as well, so you have to stay under a certain amount, because otherwise I'd scoop Data, I'd scoop 7.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Is that what you guys want to play? Because that does sound interesting.
Well, it wouldn't be like you can't have them because I have them on my team.
Oh, no, yeah, separate teams.
Kind of
Yeah, that'd be unfair. That wouldn't be, yeah, it'd be different charts.
Although, that would be kind of fun if we have them all lined up. You have your team thing, I have mine. And then one of us, we answer a trivia question or something for the first choice, and then that person goes into ours, and you can't have them because they are in ours. Oh.
Okay. Now, would we also do a third row for Super Chat? Who wants to... Who'd their fantasy be? The community version?
They'd have to throw in Super Chats, like, early to scoop people up.
Well, I don't know if they'd steal ours, because that'd be even more unfair.
Well, they'd steal everybody. Everybody on the left-hand side is game, which will be everybody. So as we go along, there'll be less people on the left-hand side.
Oh, that would be so interesting. So, literally, you, me versus the community, which is like all of you different people put together. Oh, no. That's interesting. That's super interesting. Yeah,
we could be left with the dregs. Look, I get to... Oh, Detmer.
You get Keiko and Detmer.
Keiko wouldn't be on the list.
No, she can medical, I'm sure, because first aid trading.
She can pop a baby out like nobody's business.
See, medical.
Benjamin Stone, 5 pounds. DS9 Cisco became a prophet to the gods.
And left his son and did jack shit after that. Joey became a universe-destroying monster who saved the universe as well. And she killed all of the Borg. Well, not really, but you know what I mean. Like, that big thing. Okay, so... Us... Community... Hit points... And select. That's such a fun idea. Would you guys want to play that as an idea?
Yeah, that'll take some working out to figure out how we're going to do it, though, but yes.
Yeah, how many points would we get? I guess you have to go definitionally, like a captain gets... I guess by rank would make sense.
Well, if we're swapping out between you and I, we don't need to do the points thing. If we were just building our own team and we could use the same people, then we'd have to have a point system to kind of keep it in check. So if we're just doing, like
dodgeball
turns,
team, yeah,
then we can scoop the higher people, but not all the high people because you get a chance to get one, right?
Yeah.
So we don't need the points thing for that version.
Okay. What would be the super chat number for that, do you think? Or would it be like a top, maybe there's like a 2-tier version, so small people would be lower, higher people more? Because then the audience could steal like all 5 captains if you want to be dicks.
Well, exactly.
Q, $100 super chat. He wins! Oh,
that'll be something to look forward to for you guys. We'll figure out how to do it, and just join us for that.
Yeah, sounds really interesting. Yeah, and that'd be fun to because we have done favorite Trek characters, and so that's a good one to pull images from, for people, etc. Yeah. So I asked people what are people's final thoughts on which crew. We've got TNG, most capable, DS9, strong in all fields, Voyager crew, TNG or DS9, Voyager, Enterprise, Hand of Archer, TNG for Simon, TNG for Marco. Okay. Pretty broad then. No one's saying TOS, because I think that wouldn't be a winner. That's interesting.
I'm just thinking about the super chat options for the list. You have to have like a $10 minimum super chat though.
Well, if you
can't come in and scoop like everybody for $2.
Yeah, well, no, yeah, certainly not. Yeah, you gotta mean it, guys. But it's a community ranking.
Well, captains and commanders can do like you have to put in $20 super chat. Lieutenants and stuff will be like $10.
Ensigns are 5s, yeah.
Yeah, because we'd have to be able to control it. Otherwise, we'd get screwed right immediately.
Oh yeah, because there's 3 of us, right? You, me, and the community. Which is funny because someone could put in a fire for a really sneaky ensign who's actually really bloody good at their job they've forgotten about. Right?
Wesley.
Well,
It's a traveler.
Yeah. Or Quark is like a therapist because people talk to him.
Or a diplomat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, because we had you have to really diversify the role set. Like who would we science? Who would the science officer, right? I'm not saying we answer that right now, but that's a really interesting. Yeah.
And then we could take our teams that we built, and the following day doing like a Trek versus our crews in different scenarios, and see which crew would actually win each scenario.
Yeah, I was gonna say do an AI story with the.
Well, that'd be the third day.
Yeah.
After we've seen what the crews can do.
Oh god, because that'd be a crazy one to tell the program. Like, right, Beverly and Guinan and Neelix walk into a bar and they do a mission. It's like, what?
That could be like a 1 week thing. Start out with the picking of the crew. Next day, do the different scenarios and kind of make your arguments to how your crew would handle the situation.
Yeah.
Kind of like our Trek versus that we used to do.
Yeah.
And then, the third one.
That sounds like a good week. That's like a sweeps week, isn't it? Kind of like a... I love it. Yeah, I love it.
Ray Ricks, £5. TNG crew, although I think the Voyager crew did well for what they had to do, I'm not sure Picard would have Janeway's moral flexibility. Yeah, I think you're right. Archer would have definitely done well. Cisco would have done well. Kirk would have done well.
Although, you say that for Picard, but he also... Lion was drawn here! I mean, he morally skewed in that way. And then Insurrection's arguable. Betraying Federation, etc.
Indeed.
Terrence, congratulations! Well done. I've never won anything off a scratch off, so... You won it for all of us. Yeah, that's really interesting. Really, really interesting. Okay, Stuart, do we want to talk about our Trekyardian plans if we have one, if we can make one, let the people know?
I'm not talking about it yet. It'll be this weekend probably sometime. I just don't know when because I don't know what's going on this weekend.
Okay.
We'll have a Vegas recap, Trekyards,
Yes.
very soon. Possibly this weekend. I just don't know which day.
Yes.
We'll let you know. That's all I can say.
We've got some
We shouldn't talk about these live on the air until we know for sure.
It's in the maybe. Put it in the people's brains. Yeah, we're in temporal flux right now. The Krenim are currently firing far away. And we did it a week ago, they did it 2 weeks ago, we did it a month from now. Yeah, it's crazy. We've got lots of pictures, so that'll be jam-packed of stuff. A lot of stories, a lot of things. I've still got a few of my memorabilia out to show. Yeah, that'll be really fun. I'll be drinking, of course, so, tank us up early and you might get the real stories. Because what happens in Vegas is revealed on a Trekyards. Near the end. Yes.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you guys. Hope you had fun. It was a good discussion, I think. And I'm looking forward to doing other ones. Keep your eyes open for all the stuff we just talked about because there's some cool stuff coming.
That's a great idea,
And,
awesome
until
stuff.
Next time.
And of course, do watch the Prodigy episodic stuff that came out. We have had episode 4 just came out, which includes some other cast that joined in for that. Episode 5 is in a week and a half, and that'll be the end of the first arc with a climactic end. So that check out that. Do enjoy. We'll just post a link to that because it's definitely worth watching, and those that supported it are really enjoying it, and give it a share, give it a like. Helps us get 10,000 views because that's a number we like to get because it actually matters in the algorithm. So there you go. Give it a watch. Give it a comment. Give it a double comment if you really want because that probably would help in some small way. So yeah.
Indeed. All right. Catch you later, guys. Till next time. He's Commander Cocky. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.